Yes, just to repeat, capitalism as a history, right? So there was a time when capitalism did not exist as a hegemonic system, as a dominant system. Like I said, the practice of capitalism has probably always been with us. But there was a time when it was not the dominant system, that there were other systems that were going on, and we'll look at them in a second as we look at the text. Um, so there was a time when there wasn't capitalism, and that means that there'll be a time when there won't be capitalism in the future, right? So I find that when you have a historical perspective like that, or a historicist perspective, it allows you to think the problem a lot easier. When something is considered to be just the truth or an immovable object that's never going to leave, sometimes it's hard to get your mind around that. It's hard to think through it. So if you think about something as having a history, it's a lot easier to think about. Okay, let us now look at the text that will animate and contextualize our discussion. So the first text, let me pull it up, is John Locke's Second Treatise on Government from 1690, specifically Chapter 5. That's all we're reading. Chapter 5. We will return to Locke when we get to democracy, and we'll read Chapter 1, the state of nature. The Chapter 5 of property is an important text in the history of capitalism. Then we will turn to Adam Smith's Wealth of Nations from 1776. We will just be reading Chapter 1 and 2, the Division of Labor chapters. Okay, so again, another very short reading. And finally, we will turn to Marx's Capital, from 1867, and we will isolate or limit our reading to Chapter 10, The Working Day. So I have provided you more than just those reading selections, and I recommend that you try to read all the things that are that I put up, the selections that I put up. I don't expect you to read, of course, the whole text. No one has the time for that. But if you could read more than just the specific stuff, it's always better. But the required stuff is what I just listed there. Okay, so we want to start with Locke.